Since its creation in 1993, high school students in Massachusetts have been required to pass the MCAS test in order to graduate. But this might see a change with question 2, as voting yes will result in it not being a requirement anymore, and voting no will result in keeping it the same way.
I am a strong supporter of yes on two because for the last 25 years, we have seen firsthand the harm when we reduce our students to a one-time metric that simply reflects a snapshot in time. 16,000 students did not pass the MCAS on their first try. 63% were English language learners. 21% were students from low socioeconomic backgrounds.
Unlike most teachers, I think it's actually probably more of a problem than a benefit. Mostly because students won't be incentivized to pass the exam because it's not a graduation requirement anymore. I mean, maybe it has statewide, maybe it has, but district-wide for us, it has not been a problem. I've worked here for 16 years, and certainly students have failed the MCAS exam, but I can't think of a single student who hasn't been able to pass it before they graduated. I do think there's other ways to assess students, and those things are also valuable, but I don't think that the MCAS exam actually proves to be an impediment for students graduating.
The MCAS isn't a framework, it's an assessment. In Hull, we have standard-based report cards. When I get evaluated yearly, it was upon how well I was teaching to these frameworks. The frameworks aren't going anywhere. We are number one because Massachusetts educators are highly educated. The MCAS only measures 43% of the standards, and what's not being measured is the ability to be a critical thinker.
I think that voters should consider when casting their ballot if the current status quo is actually problematic, if the state has any plans to change testing, and what will the new metrics be, right? Because if we're not going to have the MCAS as a graduation requirement, something is going to have to replace it.
I want them to know that all students deserve promise and potential. Some of the brightest students in my classroom were not good test takers. And it is time for us to lift up all learners and allow them the opportunity to thrive.
As the debate continues, there is no doubt that question 2 has caused a disagreement between the people in Massachusetts. Their differing perspectives have definitely made this an interesting topic to think about twice during this upcoming ballot. For Cold Blue Now, this has been Nevaeh Carroll. Back to you in the studio.